Welcome to the Center for Missouri Studies, the headquarters of the State Historical Society of Missouri. Opened in August 2019, this 76,700 square foot building includes a research center with a library and archives, digital newspaper lab and art galleries, as well as classrooms, a bookstore, and an auditorium for programs and events. We've come a long way since our founding in 1898 by the Missouri Press Association as a place to preserve the state's newspapers. But our mission is still the same, to provide paths of inquiry into our past that help us understand who we are today. Our growing collections of manuscripts, newspapers, photographs, and oral histories are accessible when you visit any of the 6 research centers across the state. We continue to expand our digital collections, which are freely available online. Safely stored and preserved, our collections include rare maps and books about Missouri. One of the astronomy notebooks of explorer Meriwether Lewis and a journal of William Clark are safely kept here. So is an original petition for Missouri statehood and other documents important to Missouri's history. The Center for Missouri Studies was designed with the newest technology to safeguard these collections that could not be replaced. It has received LEED Gold certification, one of the highest levels of recognition awarded by the U.S. Green Council to buildings that are environmentally friendly. You'll notice that there are 2 main entrances into the lobby, one to the north facing downtown Columbia, the other entrance faces south towards the University of Missouri campus. Here, we bridge town and gown, bringing together scholars, students, and the interested public to learn more about Missouri's heritage. As the place where the Missouri, Mississippi, and Ohio rivers meet, Missouri was ensured by its geography of playing a vital role in our nation's settlement and development. The waterways essential to early travel and communication inspired the State Historical Society of Missouri to design its headquarters around the idea of confluence. Here, the public areas flow together, offering pleasant spaces where patrons, visitors, and staff meet to share their common interest in learning about Missouri's past. Confluence is also expressed within the building in other key ways. In particular, the central stair draws its inspiration from not only the winding shape of rivers, but also the flowing landscape of Missouri master artist Thomas Hart Benton, whose work can be seen inside the art galleries. Meanwhile, primary building materials were sourced from Missouri, including the exterior limestone quarried in St. Genevieve and the white oak interior woodwork from Poplar Bluff. Many visitors each week discover the state's history through our art galleries that are free to the public. Wander inside and you'll be transported to past eras by viewing the great works of Thomas Hart Benton, George Caleb Bingham, and other notable artists who made Missouri their home or part of their canvas. Exhibitions of historic and modern artworks, including more than 18,000 original editorial cartoons, can be viewed throughout the year. As you walk through the lobby to Cook Hall, you'll see our large meeting space that can seat several hundred people. The hall enables the Society to carry out one of its core missions, to educate the public about Missouri history. The room can be set up as either a lecture hall or a banquet space and is also available as rental space for nonprofit organizations. The African American Experience in Missouri lecture series is one of the state's Historical Society's signature lecture series. In the first year it was held in this space, the lecture series brought over 400 people together to seek understanding on issues important to all Missourians. Next door, our mission of education continues in the bookstore. Here you will find many history books on Missouri, as well as poetry, fiction, and nonfiction books by Missouri authors. The bookstore also serves as a small coffee shop and a retail store for Missouri-made products. All members of the State Historical Society receive a discount at our bookstore, which is another good reason to become an annual member and to support our mission. Moving to the second floor, natural lighting welcomes you, as well as a dramatic view overlooking Peace Park across the street on the MU campus. On this floor, you can spend time viewing a changing display of materials from our collections that explore themes on Missouri's culture and heritage. At the end of the corridor, a large boardroom is used for meetings by the State Historical Society and can also be rented for use by other nonprofit organizations. There are 2 classrooms next door, also available for rental. Each room comes with the latest technology to help people of all ages learn about Missouri history. In addition to programs for the general public, the rooms are used for classes taught to University of Missouri students by members of the Society's staff. College students and our regular patrons enjoy reading in our cozy, quiet spaces on this floor, and access to free internet is available throughout the building. Next, we walk into the Research Center with its unique, curved, convex wood ceiling and stacks of books and research material that can keep you engaged in your own genealogy and other research projects. Our librarians carefully planned for this room to bring our reference materials together and to allow our patrons to easily locate what they need on the library shelves. Our staff is available to answer questions and retrieve items from our closed stacks, where manuscripts and other archival collections are kept. The Research Center is also equipped for listening to or viewing the state's audio and video collections within a specialized soundproof room we call the Cube. The State Historical Society of Missouri was founded as a repository for the state's newspapers. The newspapers in the collection go back to 1808 and continue to the present day. New issues of papers from every county in the state are continuously added. The newspapers are recorded on reels of microfilm, which is the industry standard for long-term preservation. And due to the foresight of publishers from more than a century ago, we now house one of the nation's largest collections of local and state newspapers. Millions of pages of historic Missouri newspapers are available online. Next, we enter our closed stacks. The compact shelving makes it possible to double the space available for storage. The State Historical Society houses many thousands of manuscripts, maps, oral histories, and one-of-a-kind books. The photograph collection has grown to well over several 100,000 images. These materials tell unique stories, large and small, about Missouri and its people. Researchers can study manuscripts ranging from personal diaries of everyday citizens to political papers from Missouri leaders. Patrons can explore people, events, and organizations that shaped and defined our state. The 3rd floor of the State Historical Society is where the administrative staff works, as well as other departments, including editorial. The Society has published the Missouri Historical Review, an award-winning scholarly journal, since 1906. Missouri Times, a seasonal magazine, is published to keep members updated on the Society's events, educational programs and services, and growing collections. We have a processing lab where archivists, volunteers, and student workers prepare collections for use by the public. Another lab space is dedicated to digitizing content for our online collections. As we move into the future, the State Historical Society is committed to expanding public access to its holdings by putting more and more materials online. To protect and preserve the valuable collections held here, our staff conservator uses specialized lab equipment to treat original documents, maps, photographs, and art objects. Here, damaged materials donated to the archives are evaluated and repaired or treated to ensure its long-term preservation. More storage capacity and technologies make it easier to retrieve collections when patrons request them from our 5 other research centers in Kansas City, St. Louis, Cape Girardeau, Rolla, and Springfield. Over the course of nearly a decade, the State Historical Society's staff, trustees, and supporters gained legislative approval of a $35 million bond issue to finance construction of our new headquarters. The building was designed by architects at Gould Evans. It was built by River City Construction. The grand opening day, August 10, 2019, marked a special day that coincided with the 198th anniversary of Missouri's statehood. As we celebrate Missouri's bicentennial, we begin a new chapter in understanding the state's past that is made possible by an impressive and dynamic building for collecting, preserving, and publishing materials on the history of Missouri and its region. We invite you to join and support our work at the State Historical Society. It's easy to register as a member online and to choose which level of support you wish to give. And if it's time to renew your annual membership, we appreciate your continued support of our mission. Thank you for visiting the State Historical Society of Missouri. Our home, our history.